yung isip nyo. Gusto kong buwakas yung isip mo. Okay?
Yes.
Meron ba ditong kumita na nalagpas 50 million in 5 years?
Yes.
Yes, meron na.
Yes.
Okay? May kumikita ng million per month.
Yes.
Okay. Ang papakita ko sa inyo guys, hindi M Club. Ang papakita ko sa inyo, B Club.
Yes!
The lifestyle of a billionaire.
Wow!
Okay? Gusto kong ipakita sa inyo kung anong mangyayari in the long run kapag naging successful ka sa front row, nagtayo ka ng mga ibang negosyo mo at sobrang dami mo ng pera. I want to open your minds. Yung isang bagay na hindi mo makukuha sa industriya ng employment.
Tama.
Mali.
Tama.
Yung, alam mo si front row kasi guys, ito gateway to eh. Alam mo ba yun?
Yes.
Si front row, vehicle siya. Sasakyan. Sasakyan mo siya hanggang makarating ka sa bigger dreams mo. Yung vehicle mo kasi ngayon, kung nagtatrabaho ka man, no offense, hindi yan papunta sa pangarap mo. Tama mali.
Tama.
Hindi ka makakapunta sa bilyon kakatrabaho. Makakapunta ka dyan? Hindi. Pero sa negosyo sa front row, makakapunta ka?
Yes!
Eto, papakita ko sa inyo kung anong mangyayari sa inyo kapag hinataw natin ng todo-to. Yung parating sa inyo, hindi next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Siguro 10, 15, 20 years from now. Buhay ka pa ba nun?
Yes.
Wala namang 90 years old. Wala. Ilan taon yung pinakamatanda dito ngayon?
Ayaw mo.
Meron bang 40 years old? Taas sa kamay.
40 plus.
40? Hindi nga. Seryoso ka? Tayo ka nga, ma'am. Tayo ka nga. Palakpakan mo natin. Ma'am, seryoso ba yan? Ang pinakabagong model ng Luxury New. Seryoso, akala ko 20 plus ka lang. Ano seryoso yan? Totoo. O, ito ha. Ready na kayo?
Yes, sir.
Okay na ba patayin natin yung ilaw, guys? Guys, patayin ng ilaw.
Billionaire Lifestyle.
Patayin natin, guys.
Billionaire Lifestyle.
Guys, pag nanood kayo, guys, oh, hello. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Guys, pag pinanood nyo to, gusto ko imagine nyo, kayo na to.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Dahil maramihan ng mga to, maniwala ka sa akin ng galing sa wala. Huwag mong iisipin na pinanganak na bilyonaryo. Sinasabi ko sa iyo, I made sure these people na ipapanood ko sa inyo nang galing sa wala, mas wala pa sa iyo ngayon. Okay? Okay. Wait lang guys, wait lang. Sino marunong mag-technical? Ayan na.
Yan na.
Ayan na.
Billionaire Lifestyle.
Oligarchs, internet entrepreneurs, new money billionaires are springing up faster than ever before. And with new money come brash new attitudes.
Wealth now doesn't mean 40, 50, 60 million. It means in the billions.
Generation hyper-rich has arrived.
It's kind of bleak and more out there than it used to be. It's like you've got a 300-foot yacht, oh, but he's got a 500-foot yacht. Now you've got status anxiety.
You have the old money versus the new money. The individuals spending here, there, and everywhere on everything bling and everything showy. Billionaires are the new celebrity.
And just like celebrities, many new money billionaires are not afraid to be seen to be extravagant. And they want grand, iconic toys that scream, "Check me out."
It seems they've checked a box which says yacht or plane or stud farm or mini stately home.
They have no background of being rich or not the etiquette or the finesse. I think it can become very, very stressful.
Well, there's a disorder now that they've coined, is called acquired situational narcissism. Middle-class people, just like you and me, become billionaires overnight. They're becoming, obscenely vain and drunk on their own self-importance.
They want to show that they belong. So that's when people start competing amongst, who's got their children at the best schools, who's got the more expensive handbags, who's got the prettier wife, who's got the better looking children, which is an awful thing to say.
And who, of course, has got the most outrageous gin palace on the map. This is the world of billionaire toys. Monaco in July is a mecca for mega yachts, and it's a chance for their owners to measure up against their fellow billionaires. Floating villas, mobile palaces, or ego-boosting phallic symbols, they all shout, "That's right, I rule."
10 years ago, we had the haves and the have yachts. But now we have the haves and the have giga yachts. And we have the rich, the super rich, and the ultra rich.
To join this ultra-exclusive club, you better have plenty of the folding stuff.
To be able to purchase a yacht, you've got to have at least between 30 and 60 million pounds. So that's your first cost, which is obviously enormous. And then you're more than likely, if you're that type of person who can afford to buy a yacht, you will want it refurbished as well. So that's looking at least another probably 4 or 5 million pounds, if not a lot more than that.
The running cost to fund your own yacht, they really do cost astronomical amounts of money.
Running costs are the old hidden nemesis of every boat owner.
There's an old adage that, you should rent anything that flies, floats and fornicates.
It costs a fornicating amount of money just to keep your tub in the water, and then you've got to fill her up.
We use about 1,500 liters of fuel an hour, and we have a capacity of about 7 hours of fuel. So every time we go at the gas station, we have to do about 40,000 euros now.
40,000 euros every 7 hours. It's a rude awakening to even the most gung-ho of new money billionaires. It's one thing buying a mega yacht, but at the highest echelons of showiness, that's simply not enough. What sets the hyper-wealthy apart is their ability to build a new yacht to their own specification. And when you're that rich, you can have whatever you want. Well, within reason.
Yeah, one client's wife who was wondering whether we'd keep a pony on the boat for her daughter. The idea was to have an exercising turntable at the back of the yacht on the aft deck. But they weren't embarrassed to ask the question. They thought it was a reasonable question to invite.
Well, I think it's fair to say they live in a totally different world. They are increasingly living in a bubble.
I suppose the ideal lifestyle for a member of the super rich is James Bond crossed with the Bond villain.
We also had a client that wanted to have a shark tank, like a swimming pool with sharks in it. Well, the swimming pool would be half shark, half human, with a glass wall between the two. Again, I didn't think that would be very kind to the sharks.
Employing specialist naval architects like Ed Dubois or Tim Haywood doesn't come cheap, and that's just the point.
No one needs a yacht. It's the very last thing you need, actually.
If you want to see your money actually just vanishing into thin air, you buy a yacht.
Why not? If you're worth 8 billion, you spend 300 million in a yacht, it's not a lot of money.
Every super yacht is a one-off creation, designed and built with extraordinary craftsmanship.
I think of them, I hope it's not sacrilegious, I think of them almost as being today's cathedrals. The cathedrals of the Middle Ages were the most sophisticated things on earth. I think our yachts are.
Amel's shipyard in Holland is where nautical dreams come to life. British yacht designer Tim Haywood has come here to see his latest behemoth take shape.
It is remarkable to see this boat today, having spent the hours drawing it.
It's a 66-metre yacht built over 3 tiers, and the price, well, eye-watering.
On average now we talk about kind of €1 million a metre.
Yes, that is indeed around 66 million euros just for the build.
The whole of the outside is hand sanded.
$20 million
The paint job alone for that boat is going to be €2-3 million.
And that's just for the outside. For the interior design, he'll spend many millions more to furnish his fantasy.
They want the latest gadget, but they want the things out in films. They want that awful expression, the James Bond factor. They want all those sort of wow things. Unreal life made real.
So the big TV screen is there. So if you want to have everybody on the big long sofa watching a movie, you can do it like that. On the other hand, if you want to look outside, you can turn the whole thing back again.
So, money really does make the world go round. Finally, you're ready to weigh anchor and get showy.
A yacht is for every owner a weapon of show off.
They want their yacht to be the biggest. And it causes them genuine pain when some other dude's yacht comes in and it's bigger than theirs. They feel they've failed, even though they've got an enormous sized yacht.
These boats are, how big do you want it? I mean,
It's the status thing, I think.
it's much more sexually driven than that. I think it's all rather silly, but whatever.
There will always be someone else with a bigger yacht than you. I mean, I know there are a couple of fashion billionaires, when their yachts were together in Saint-Tropez, literally the other squeebed across the water, mine's bigger than yours, mine's bigger than yours. It's a bit of a cockfight.
Well, let's see those nautical cocks and get fighting. Here are the world's current top 5 giga yachts. At number 5, Topaz weighs in around 12,000 tons and stretches 147 meters. At number 4, Al Said, built for the royal family of Oman, measures 155 meters, accommodates 70 passengers and 154 crew members. Dubai, at number 3, was originally commissioned by big-spending Prince Geoffrey of Brunei. In 1996, construction ground to a halt due to lack of funds. 5 years later, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum finished the job in style. It's estimated that Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich's Eclipse cost him nearly $1 billion. Rumored to have its own intruder detecting system and anti-paparazzi laser shield, it's just the ticket for a Roman holiday. Once the biggest yacht in the world, it shrank in 2013 when an even bigger fish splashed into the pond. Launched in April 2013, Azam is this year's top of the yachts, and most yacht spotters reckon it's the plaything of the Emir of Abu Dhabi. This 94,000 horsepower vessel travels at more than 30 knots, which makes it not only the longest, but the fastest super yacht in the world. Coming up, Playtime in Paradise, the ultimate high-end toys for new money billionaires left out in the cold.
Just because you're super rich doesn't mean the super rich accept you.
There is this isolation that billionaires have to endure.
And staffing the super toys, billionaire style.
If you're a size 12 to 14, it's very difficult to do your job. The last thing they want to see is somebody that's from you.
Newly made billionaires have got it bad. Decked out with brand new showpiece toys, they're finally into high society, except it's not necessarily the nirvana of their dreams.
A billionaire spends his whole life trying to accumulate wealth to escape society. And then when he gets there, he spends his whole time trying to re-ingratiate himself back into society.
There is this isolation that billionaires have to endure.
Just because you're super rich doesn't mean the super rich accept you. Because the pecking order amongst the super rich is quite stratified. So on the top of the super rich league are the extremely well-educated, well-spoken, art enthusiastic sophisticates. They do not feel that they are the same as the next super rich guy who owns 3 yachts but can't pull a sentence together.
Your new old money pals don't deem you worthy, so what do? You head back to your trusty friends from the good old days.
I mean, the idea that you've been invited on someone's yacht, yippee. First of all, you're expected to leave 10% of the cost of the yacht in tips, which, by the way, is more than flying around the world first class. On top of that, the men who come and take the little boat that takes you, shuffles you back and forth from the yacht, they expect to be tipped as well. So actually, unless you're very rich, you can't afford to be a guest of someone who's very rich.
I think the unspoken contract between the host and the guest is that the guest is there in some way to entertain the host and the other guests. And you've got to play the game. You've got to be part of the fun and, sing for your supper.
I was once having lunch with a billionaire. He said something very amusing, which was that when you invite friends on your super yacht, they take everything in the room. They basically walked out with the entire contents.
To hell with your friends. You're a billionaire. You don't need them anymore. Plus, you've got this year's ultimate seagoing super toys. First released in 1972, 40 years on, the jet ski is still the undisputed hooligan of the high seas. For the billionaire who thinks he's above it all, well, 6 inches above it all, then the 40-mile-an-hour hoverpod is the only way to fly. Disliked by captains and the crew alike, the super slide is every little big kid's dream. Big kids with £130,000 to spare, that is. The billionaire life encapsulated in one fabulous toy, full of ups and downs and spins and swoops. For a wealthy flyboy at play, the flyboard is guaranteed to raise pulses and eyebrows across the marina. Now, to mere mortals, this cutting-edge contraption may look like a submarine, but no, they'd be wrong. It is in fact an underwater aeroplane. The Super Falcon can fly to depths of 120 meters, and it's all yours for one easy installment of $1.7 million. But even underwater soaring can become boring eventually, and at this point the lonely new money billionaire looks to his household for company.
So they end up having to invite their members of staff, mostly their decorators or designers, their personal chefs, to spend the holidays with them, but of course it's always on their terms.
And servicing this whole billionaire staff knees up, yet more personnel are brought in to cater for all on board.
The last thing they want to see is somebody that's frumpy. They want somebody who's young, vibrant, attractive. She needs not to be oversized, because if you're a size 12 to 14, it's very difficult to do your job in a correct manner.
You hear all sorts of stories of stewardesses and captains, to be very honest, as well as stewardesses and owners. I think it's quite a common trap for girls to fall into. Those stories tend to end with the stewardess being on the streets, to be honest, and losing her job.
But of course, it's not just the stewardesses and, let's be fair, stewards servicing the boat-bound billionaire. A whole industry caters to their demands. And in Cannes, expats Ellen and Gabby have set up a fruit and veg business, catering to the appetites of the super rich.
This is our fruit and veg fridge, and all our fruit and veg is prepared at temperature, well, at a constant temperature. A client one day asked us to send her some papaya fruit down to Sardinia, so we had to charter her a private jet just to put the fruit on board. The pilot wasn't too happy. We actually get asked to send our fruit and veg to the Maldives. Where have we been? Seychelles, yeah, the Caribbean. So we send a lot in winter. We export a lot.
Oh, morning, Shushu! Oh, yeah. We have a lovely in-house florist called Shushu. He's divine. He'll bend over backwards to help you. Literally.
I love my job. Yes, of course. 26 years I make this job.
Yeah. He's really lovely, and the boats adore him. He goes onto the boats. He'll talk through with the chief stewardesses, and he also comes on board some of the yachts with us and places the flowers on board for them, so the girls don't have to do anything.
Every time I'm very happy.
As party planners to the hyper-wealthy, Heidi and Bruno are accustomed to providing immediate gratification to some of the world's most demanding guests.